Hello everyone, welcome to the AMA project explanation session. This is the AMA for XROS Open Source Fellowship Program, initiative of Government of India supported by Meta. And today we are having our project mentor from Parallax Lab, Rahul Shaw. So he'll be
Hello.
explaining you about the project detail, explaining you about the projects and tech stacks and whatever doubts you have, we'll walk you through around the projects. And so starting from your quick introduction, Rahul, if you could introduce yourself a bit next.
Hi, I'm Rahul Shaw, and I'm a senior XR developer at Parallax Labs, and I have worked in the field of XR for many years. I think it's been around 4 years. We started with the old Google Cardboards. So when we had those Google Cardboards, and now we are working with MetaQuest Pros and other new headsets, working with new technology that's coming like Unreal Engine 5, uh, Unity, and many more. So we are working alongside Meta and a lot of the big well-known organizations as well. So that is a very big thing right now. XR has truly become very big, and yeah, we are waiting to see what's more to come and what how much bigger can we get the field of XR and how much we can grow together in this field.
Thanks for that quick intro, Rahul. I just wanted if you could explore a little bit about the project. So you have mentioned two projects on the website. That is, first one is
Yeah.
medical simulator, another is VR visible assistant. If you could briefly explain about the first project first, let's go around this like medical simulator in which shader graph, HLSL, Unity, Unreal Engine, these tech stacks are mentioned. You have mentioned. So if you could give a quick brief
Okay.
around this, it would be helpful.
So, talking about the first project, that is a medical simulator. So, for the medical simulator project, what we are actually looking for is a realistic, a dynamic medical simulator that that we can use for in which we can use as many multiple tech stack as possible. So what we are looking for is like how creative can a developer get with a medical simulator. So basically there are two types of medical simulator that we can come across. The first one is which like for non-medical people, the surgeries which we do inside bodies, and the other surgeries or procedures we perform outside the body. So suppose we perform CPR, BVM, and various other procedures. Those procedures are performed outside the body, and there are other procedures like microscopy and with other stuffs which are performed inside the body. So the goal of a medical simulator is to create one of the surgeries, any one of your choice, and just make it as real as possible, as good as possible in virtual reality or mixed reality. It's your choice. If you're going with mixed reality, if you're going with suppose MetaQuest Pro, we highly encourage you to go with let's just say presence platform, the SDK from Meta recently. So there we have a lot of new stuff, like we have local multiplayer, we have spatial recognition and other stuff. We also have voice chat locally. So suppose if I'm currently in India and another person is in Singapore, we can perform a single life surgery together. We can learn and we can get a report of it. We can also understand what mistakes we did together. So basically, what we want is just a really dynamic or well-made simulator, whether it would be whether it would be a simple surgery or a very complex surgery, or a very simple procedure like a CPR or a very complex. But it has to be very good. It has to be very technical, and it should be very innovative. Is what we really looking for in our medical simulator.
So I just wanted to know what type of background from these developers or these new designers you are looking for. What are your expectations from them?
Okay, so for my expectations, what I'm looking for are for the developers. What I'm looking for is anyone with decent experience in Unity or Unreal. So anyone who is good with Unity and Unreal can actually join and probably learn as well. Uh, and that is one of the things. So they should have, if they're going for multiplayer together as a team, I would really appreciate if they have networking background as well. So if they have done something related to networking, that would be great. because that could actually add a lot of scope to the project. And as of the designers, I think we'll need a couple of 3D modelers. We can have the assets from Mixamo, Sketchfab, and other websites, but a 3D modeler is always handy to modify and edit the projects and the assets that we are going to need. And similarly, a UI, UX, or a graphic artist would be great. Uh, so those are the type of people we are looking for in this simulator. So people with these kinds of background, we highly encourage them to take part in the project and to learn together. Uh, yeah, so those are the type of people we are looking for.
So in the first project, you have mentioned two tech stacks specified, two access, that is shader graphs and Unity Unreal Engine. So I just wanted to know the one, if one don't have a great or precise knowledge about shader graphs, so would it be preferable from your end? Should they apply for the organization if they have decent knowledge of Unity 3D and Unreal Engine?
Yeah, sure. You can obviously apply for it because there are using shaders to do a particular task is actually one approach to actually make a proper simulator, make a deformation skin texture and other stuff. But again, other people from different background can also do it simultaneously. Like suppose we can have an animator who can create a blend space or morph target file to create the deformation of the skin. So the tech stack of I think shader graph and HLSL, it's I guess optional. It's not necessarily needed, but again, if you have it, it's great for the team. But again, it's pretty rare. It is a pretty rare skill, so I don't expect you to actually go through it and make it compulsory. Any other skill is also fine, to be honest.
Yeah, and this is definitely we call this is this a fellowship. So definitely you guys are
Yeah,
going, mentors will be there. So every
yeah.
fellow will be guided by you. So that's really nice to be mentioned over there. So now coming back to the second project, the VR visual accessibility toolkit. So if you could like enlighten us on the second project also, it would be very helpful.
Okay. So about the second project, so the main scope of the second project was to help mainly for artists and the designers who are colorblind and have issues related to your visions and stuff. So suppose if an artist or designer is colorblind, he or she can not perceive the color in the same way as, let's just say, a person with a normal eyes, right? So what we are looking for currently is just a type of plugin or a plugin which actually helps them to actually rectify this issue, to help them develop something better, to make sure they make something which is accurate to every one of us, and also a plugin which could also be applied to a game or something. So suppose if we are playing a session and the player one is colorblind and player one has a red color blindness and player two has a green color blindness. So we can just set the color blindness effectively, and they both can have the same experience, the same color, the same entire vision and visionary experience together. So that's what we are looking for. It's basically a plugin that will help people who are colorblind and basically to help and develop a better application for the people. I guess that is what we are looking for.
Thanks for that enlightenment. And again, so there are multiple questions from the students around. So some of you have addressed most of them about the projects, and that's really nice. Now I just wanted to take it from a time perspective. Like, what are your expectations? Like, how many hours these developers or these designers needs to contribute on a particular project they are from your end? What are your expectations as a time perspective, time constraint?
About time, what I'll say is you can be flexible, right? You can work for like 4 hours a day on a project, and I think you can still crack it. Uh, but again, for the time, I think it's just about personal preference. It's about like how difficult you think. It's all about setting a personal level of task or uh, uh, a personal schedule as to like what task you want to complete at a particular day. But as far as time goes, I think 4 to 5 hours a day are more than adequate. So I think that goes for 20 hours a week, I guess. Yeah, so I think that time is more than enough. Yeah, I think that is more than enough for either of the projects. But again, it's a personal preference, like how much you're ready to go in, how much you want to dig deeper. That's all about your curiosity and personal agenda.
Yeah, exactly. And those who are, so I got this question in the comment section. Those who are wondering about this timeline thing that is mentioned in the proposal. So again, I'm mentioning this point. You not need to stick with the sample proposal that we have shared. That is just for your reference. You can, there are n number of ways you can derive your proposal. My next question for Rahul will be the same. Like, Rahul, what will be the ideal proposal looks like for you? Like, what should they mention in the proposal? Is it something like their previous experience? Is it something like their maybe the current project they are working on, or maybe what it looks like? Maybe kind of PPT or documentations.
Okay, that's a good question. So, what I'm currently looking for is, I'll say the projects would be helpful. The getting to know what projects they have worked on, getting to know what part they have played on the project, what they expertise in, and many more stuff. So these are a couple of things that I'm looking for. Like I don't go through resumes and stuff. Like I'm more of a project person, so I prefer looking at people's projects and getting to know about them even more through their technical background. So okay, yeah. So that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people's projects, and if you're new, if you don't have any projects, it's fine. You can still apply. But having a project and having something that will help you, that will help you that will help you in this project would be actually be helpful. So like if you have a 3D modeler, even something basics would actually work, because at that rate we have something to actually understand, like what are you good at and what we can improvise on it. We can actually help you, and we can understand what position you'll be better for in the development. And if suppose if there is an issue, we can always just move back and forth. There's always a lot of things. So those are the things that I'm looking for, to be honest.
Yeah, and now there are some questions in the comment section. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna pop up each question onto your screen. So if you can see this.
Can an Android developer contribute to any projects in this organization? Yeah, sure. To be honest, yes, obviously you can. So, I get if you're not aware, the Oculus Quest is like an Android device itself, right? So, Oculus Quest and also the Meta Quest, they only support the APK format. So, you can tackle them as a mobile device. So. That is technically an Android device. So yes, this project can be developed for both Android and for PC. So it's just the approach that changes, but the development platform remains the same. Is what I'm is what I'll say about this.
Yeah, so there is another question from Akhil.
So, as you said, the innovative approach for the medical simulator project, should the path we choose create a simulator be more similar to a real life surgery? That is completely on the team, to be honest. Like, again, like it's not up to us to decide. So, it's actually the team that comes up. So it can be as real as possible. That would be great. That would be awesome, in fact. But it can also be unique, right? So, suppose if we do a colonoscopy, you can't just go inside and do things like you can't just normally cut up a person and just go inside and just understand like what's wrong and what's going on. Colonoscopy can just be done through a simple monitor, right? So that is one of the approach, but again there are multiple approaches, so a bit of research could actually help you get to understand a unique approach, both technically and so basically we want something which is technically unique, number one, and which is also somewhat similar to a real life surgery, if not fully similar, at least somewhat, because it should at least look like a surgery. And the second thing, the unique factor just comes with how good of an interaction that you can make in the surgery. So suppose if you're cutting something, if you're trying to perform a stitch, how unique can the interaction be? How user friendly can the interaction be? That is the uniqueness part of the surgery simulator that we're looking for. So
Yeah,
the user
so
experience as well as the
so
other
this is the
things.
follow-up question from Arnav. So the one that you have mentioned under developer thing.
Okay, I have experience in Flutter. Can I build application according to the organization need? Uh, Flutter integration would be quite difficult for these projects. So the problem with these projects is that they are strictly for XR. So they are mainly for Unity and Unreal background people. So I don't think so. We mainly have any use for Flutter for any type of development.
Yeah, and we got some couple of questions from Slack around the project. So these, the GitHub link that you have given to us that is on the website. That's
Okay.
feels like that sounds like a fresh project. So the question was, these developers need to build the project from very scratch, or like if it is already there is a base layer present in it. So what does it looks like?
So about the level design, like you can basically take any template that is already present. The level design part is not necessarily needed to be like completely made from scratch. We don't expect you to do that, but as of the code part of it, the interaction part of it, we would really like if you could at least create some sort of unique interactions. If not something that you already have, like suppose if you have basic grabbing and basic normally moving around tool, we are not looking for those you can actually get it through any other project, that is fine, but very unique stuff like suppose we are cutting something, we are just performing a couple of cpr or something, that I guess would be better if we just create on our own, because that is how we can probably learn about these things and probably improvise it over time. So about the interaction, so mainly the interaction needs to be written from the attractions and the, I guess, the patient as well. The patient for the 3D modelers, the patient needs to probably be custom made because there'll be a lot of modification as the development goes on probably. So for the patient, you probably need to make a custom model. You can't probably take it from online. And for the script as well, if we are going with the uniqueness factor, we probably have to script something from the scratch. And the rest of the fragment, I think we can get somewhere else as well. We can actually get it from any marketplace or any other website. That is fine. Any asset store.
Thank you for answering these questions. And I guess there are no questions from the comment section. And still, we have already covered most of the things right over here about the projects, about the text text and everything. So thank you, Rahul. And you are already in the Slack channel now. And I request
Yeah.
if any query comes, you could address them. So it would be really helpful for these developers to make a good proposal, right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
and to all listening to here right now, to me and Rahul, just drop your queries in the Slack channel, and he's there in this, so you can just share your queries and you can ask your doubts anytime. And again, because I got a question right now in the Slack that project review, that is not possible, guys. We can't review the projects, then can't scrutinize. So that is not that will be a biased thing if we will review the projects. So project review is not allowed for anyone. So please don't ask someone, either mentors or any of the community manager or the Slack manager, to review your project. You can review internally with anyone in your contact, but we are not supposed to review the proposals at least. Okay, so thank you, Rahul, for your precious time and addressing these queries. I really appreciate your time and your gesture for the community, and looking forward for some awesome contributions and some really cool proposals that are going to come. Right, I read these proposals, and I'm really
Yeah, okay.
excited
Thank you very
to
much. Yeah,
yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining in, and
yeah.
have a
Goodbye.
nice day. Bye bye.
Yeah, goodbye.